Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to launch straight in. We've got a few questions waiting for us already. Let's do our opening prayer and then off we go. O great spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my father, my mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, amen, namaste. Okay, let's shoot. So, Unicorn Fluffy. Okay, I like that name. Unicorn Fluffy. Hi, Sky. I would like to know what's on my son's mind, that he should feel pressure, which energies can pull him down and fend him off. Maybe you could do an energy cleansing. Many thanks for that, my love. Unless you have his consent, I can't do anything. I can't scan him. I can't touch him. Not because I'm not able to, but because it breaks the laws of karma and the laws of the universe. So let me know if you have his consent, okay? Because otherwise, I don't do readings for other people like that in public because it breaks all kinds of laws, free will, karma, things like that. And you wouldn't like it if somebody was reading you publicly and giving out your private information, right? So if you have their consent, that's completely okay. But if you don't have their consent, then, sorry, not sorry, not doing it. Okay. Georgina says, hi, Sky. I need some guidance for my professional life and reaching the divine path. I'm already a doctor, congratulations, but I want to change my practice into something holistic. Is intuitive medicine a good path? Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to scan you. Creator, it's commanded to scan. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm instantly being shown, I'm actually getting Archangel Raphael coming in super strong and Archangel Michael coming in super strong. And the message is you don't have to choose, right? You don't have to choose. The path that you're on is beautiful and the holistic path is beautiful. And you can intertwine the two paths. Right? You don't have to abandon who you were to allow who you are now to blossom through. And the fact that you have both is incredible. The fact that you have both is amazing. They're showing me there's actually a part of you that's ashamed of the traditional medicine side. So can we get Archangel Michael to come in and Archangel Raphael to come in and just dissolve as much of that shame as possible? Because you get to be proud of both. Ooh, there we go. You get to be proud of both, and you get to be proud of being able to walk down whatever path that the client's free will takes them down. There we go. Now, I'm getting very strong guidance that you should open up an online practice, that you should do a holistic practice as well as your medical practice. You don't necessarily need separate websites or for either. You can have them both in the same space. And they're very much showing me that there's definitely some imposter syndrome and shame around here around becoming more visible. So we're going to call on Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Raphael to help you with imposter syndrome and becoming more visible. There we go. Oh, your heart really closed for that one. So let me just do a bigger scan. Okay, so there is no path forward without facing criticism. Okay, and that's really, really important. The angels are I'm actually getting in Archangel Ariel, big lion type energy. Like they're saying that your identity collapsing whenever you're criticized comes from a childhood wound, right? Of having parents be so critical or so verbally abusive when you did something they didn't want you to do, that when someone criticizes you, there's almost like an identity collapse. So they're saying that this is a healing, right? We're going to send so much unconditional to that little child, but this is a healing. This is where I'd recommend that you either book a healing or that you make space to work with a therapist that you already work with to get to the bottom of why your whole identity and self-worth is collapsing whenever you face judgment or criticism, because where you're going, there's no fame, there's no visibility, there's no recognition without criticism. Sometimes it's just a part of life. There we go. Ooh, if people only got criticized when they were doing the wrong thing, life would be easy. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now that heart's starting to open up again. Gonna get Archangel Shamuel to come in and do a broken heart healing, if that's okay. You don't have to be somebody else. You just have to be you. And when other people don't like that, notice I said when, not if, right? You bless them and you release them. But you can't drop all your ethics. You can't stop being yourself. You can't feel like you're disappearing to the ground or not exist or don't have the right to exist or be yourself or completely change what you truly believe, right? From a place of whether or not people like you. Those kinds of big decisions have to come from your moral values. They have to come from deep self-examination and the and examination of the kind of person that you want to be, and God's laws of the universe. They can't come from a person liking you or not liking you. That's not a good place from which to make decisions. There we go. Oof. Okay, that cleared up nicely. For those of you that have joined on TikTok and you're brand new to me doing this, feel free to pop your questions underneath and then I'll do a reading for you. Okay, but you have to pop your question underneath. Okay, Maria's saying, hi Sky, can I have a message regarding my love life? Yep, let's pull a card. Just so you know, I'm on Restream, guys, so you're seeing me answering questions from the other screen as well. I'm on TikTok and Instagram live, but I'm on Restream as well. So there are questions coming through on there that you might not be able to see. Wow. Okay. So the card that I got for you is the Empress of Protection. I'm safe and divinely protected. I'm held in love at all times. I'm getting a really strong message from Archangel Shamuel, who's the angel of soulmates, and like stars are aligned. And this is an energy of, allowing protection and understanding that sometimes what we think love is not love, it's a wound. So it's a really deep calling to ask the angels to heal your love wounds, your lovability wounds, because this is not love. So we're just going to take a moment to pull out every emotion, all the shame, all the anger, everything that's been dumped on you, anything that's confusing you. We're just going to ask Archangel Michael to come in and repair your energy field and to cut all cords and do an instant healing on the childhood wound or the past life wounds that are making you accept this, that are making you think that this is what love is. And there seems to be quite a high chemistry, quite a high charge around this, quite a strong power struggle that's being mistaken for like intensity and drama, almost like a twin flame type of energy. There we go. But it's not. it's like whenever you pull in a twin flame or a soul or a karmic soulmate, it is exactly because there's parts of yourselves that you haven't done shadow work on and you haven't learned how to love, because a twin flame is a mirror of you. So if you don't like yourself, you're going to get majorly triggered, right? And a karmic soulmate is there to show you the way that your actions in the past have affected others, particularly, maybe not being self-aware, maybe not being committed, maybe what's the word, being indecisive and not thinking about how that's going to affect the other party. There's lots of little things that we do that we think don't cause any damage that actually break people's hearts. Okay, so it says, it kind of like in the Hippocratic Oath is like, first do no harm. So let's just take a minute to clear all that stuff out. Karmic soulmates, twin flame soulmates, so that you can actually experience loving relationships with your soulmates. You can work out this stuff in therapy. You don't have to work it out in your love life, okay? If you don't work it out in spiritual healing and in therapy, that's when you end up having to work it out with your kids, with your partner, with your family. There we go. That's moving beautifully. Okay. So we've got a lady called Karusha on TikTok, and she's saying, I'm new. Hi, beautiful. Interested in hearing about the next few months. Okay, so I'll draw. Whoop. Oh, I've got a jumping card for you. I'll draw a couple in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the first card that came out for you is Patroness of Impossible Causes. So, and immediately when I read that out, St. Jude came to mind. So I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. This is a powerful card that it basically asks you to remember that you are creating with the words that you say, and that the power of life and death is inside your tongue. So I have a feeling that you have like there's a fiery energy here. It's almost like you have a sharp temper sometimes, and you're creating things that you don't want by believing the worst in yourself or the worst in other people. So saying be very careful what you're saying, particularly when you're angry. And there's an energy of, speaking and declaring blessings, speaking and declaring what it is that you want to happen so that you can create miracles, using this stubbornness to your advantage instead of letting it use you. Start using it to make a way where you see no way. Start using it to create opportunities where there is no opportunity. Start using it to raise your standards where you've been letting people take advantage. And you're going to see like miraculous things start shifting and happening. You're not stuck, you're stubborn. You're not stuck, you're stubborn. So what's it called? The divine feminine goddesses want to come and help you shift that. Remember, whatever you believe to be true for you becomes true, right? So don't believe horrible things about yourself. Don't believe things are never going to happen for you. Don't believe stuff like that. No matter if other people are confirming it or if the whole of reality is confirming it, remember that God and the angels are supernatural beings, and there are supernatural forces working behind the scenes to make things happen, even when you don't see it happening. Just keep speaking to that power, and it will start to click through. The next card that I got for you, so this month is like, watch your thoughts, take radical responsibility, use your stubbornness for you instead of letting your fear mind use it against you. And then the next month we got playfulness is a spiritual power, laughter leads me back to light. So it's this energy of learning to take things lightly, to laugh at yourself, to not become so serious. It's because you care so much. They're actually showing me like you deeply, deeply, deeply care about other people, and you deeply care about the world, but it's the way that you care is serious, and they're asking you to care through joy, through laughter. They're asking you to release through laughing instead of through crying. It's almost like you haven't laughed or smiled in a long time, and this is going to shift your frequency radically. The butterflies are shifting transformation. The arrow here is showing me that you're going to hit your mark. The lotus flower in the background right above her crown chakra is showing there's a massive spiritual awakening going on. And this is about, like, when you can see the red and this sensual come hither look or energy coming on. This is like allowing yourself to feel worthy of pulling in that soulmate, feel worthy of being worshipped, feel worthy of being taken care of financially, mentally, spiritually, letting go of that provider wound, so that you can really let yourself desire what you desire instead of being stuck in all these cultural norms. So we're just going to take a minute. We're going to call on Archangel Michael to unplug you from the collective consciousness and plug you into God's consciousness so that you can have everything, and that you are back to being the creator of your world. We're going to take your power back from all those situations. We're going to release that stubbornness. Just say yes. Anyone else that's listening can have that too. There we go. So if you're listening to somebody else's reading and you're like, I want that, just say yes out loud or type in yes, and then I'll do it for you as well. Okay. Witnessing is a powerful beast. Okay. Next one is Marita. She's saying, Dear Sky, I have problems in my marriage. Oh, my love, I'm sorry to hear that. I thought I need to allow him to love me and accept love. Okay. I'm going to pull a card for you, but I'm also going to do a relationship scan, and we're going to see what comes up. Okay. So angels for Marita. Let's see. Okay. Done for you trying to pull. These names online. The first one, Fluffy Unicorn, was like, what? Doesn't stop me from tuning in, but it does make me smile. Right. Okay. So the card that I got for you, Mitra, is the presence of the divine feminine. At the center of everything, there is light, and I am that light. So this is about making a decision to really step into your power. There's almost an inner, like, there's a real power struggle going on here in your marriage. And I'm getting really strongly told by the angels, like I'm almost seeing like a staff being put down, and this message of stand in your power. What you're doing and staying on the higher ground is for the best for your marriage, the best for your partner, the best for the situation. But the guilt that you have and the fear that you'll lose him if you stand for what's right and you stand for what's true is what's giving him power and what's keeping this going and going and going as a power struggle. You need to let go of the guilt for having high standards. You need to let go of the guilt of having needs. You need to let go of the guilt of being his woman instead of his mother or his, housekeeper or his therapist. You need to stand in here because, especially like when it comes to men adulting, they chase the feminine energy. They rise when we rise. So if you feed this energy by with the guilt, then he will energetically go into the feminine, because then you're chasing him, right? You're meeting his needs, you're providing for him emotionally, energetically, physically, maybe even financially. So you need to really stand your ground and let the tantrums happen, because that's a man in his feminine energy. Like let the tantrums happen, and just keep very softly repeating, right? I am your wife. I deserve to be treated with love, kindness, and respect. This is what I show you, right? And I know that you're more than capable of doing this. And I will not accept more than this. And his behavior will start to shift, evolve, and change. They're saying you do need to give it time, but you can't work on his lovability and you cannot be his therapist. What you can do as his woman is hold the space for him to grow as a man. And what I mean by that is you say, you're really capable, you're really clever, I really respect you. Every problem I've seen you face, you have worked out, you have overcome. Therefore, I know that you have the strength to meet me. I know that you have the strength to see me. I know that you have the strength to figure this out. Right? So you can come from a place of feminine fierceness and from a place of feminine strength, without emasculating a man, or without making him less than you, or without being cruel. You can very much say, this is what I need. This is what I'm available for. So I'm only available for being talked to with respect. I'm only available for being treated well. I'm only available for being provided for, right? And there's a specific time frame that I'm going to give you to rise. And if you cannot rise, then I'm going to leave. And that's really important. It's not an ultimatum. It's just the truth, because you don't have a whole life to waste. And not just that, you cannot let him do brain damage or break your heart or your self-worth. But 99% of the time, when women rise and they hold the space, men rise, because it's what they really want. They want to be loved and they want to be in their masculine. Right? It's just that the whole dynamic of this relationship has changed, and he's not quite sure what the hell's going on. So just stand your ground. Do not let the arguments sway you. Just stay very sweet, very calm, very feminine in this energy of, this is my desire. This is my desire. This is my desire. This is my desire. And do not move. Just do not be moved. Let him do the chasing. Let him do the fixing. Let him do the healing around it, and see what happens. Okay. I'm going to do a few more from Restream now. Okay, Terry T is saying, hi Sky, my family and I have contacted COVID. Okay, please ask the angels to heal us for speedy recovery. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to send in Archangel Raphael to help you with this, and we're just going to do an instant healing on the virus, on your immune system, on your worthiness. Just unplug you from the collective consciousness and plug you into God's healing consciousness, into the knowledge of the highest truth that your faith will make you whole. There we go. And just releasing any unworthiness issues, any grief issues. Giving you permission to rest without having to be sick. Giving you permission to slow down without panicking about finances. There we go. And just releasing any negativity from previous pandemics or lifetimes. Just releasing all of this fear, giving it straight to God and the angels so that you can make a speedy recovery. Okay. Yep, trying to pull this in. Can I have a card, please? Yep, and then we'll do Bruna. Okay. Oh, the card that I got for you is the card that I got for you trying to pull is Isis, the goddess of magic. There's a huge magical awakening going on. It has been so repressed. I mean, the witch burnings were bigger than the Holocaust, right? And magic is the ability to manifest in harmony with the elements, right? And then there are many different kinds of magic: white, black, red, blood. So you want to tap into the kind of magical energy that's coming into, whether it's more of a manifestation or whether it's more of a like a ritualistic type energy. And you're being called to return to your inner magic, to your own power. It's almost like life has just become boring and dull. It's not spontaneous. You're not doing things that you love or enjoy anymore. So we're just going to ask the angels to do an instant healing on your magic so that you can use that in a way that feels in harmony with your life. There's some sort of religious belief and conditioning here that it's wrong to be magical. And if that were the case, how would Jesus have walked on water? How would the prophets have seen the future, right? That's magic by anyone's standards. It's just called a different name so that different people can control it. It's okay for you to be powerful. Call it magic, call it manifestation, call it healing. It doesn't matter. It's all God's power at work. Where the trouble begins is if you misuse the power, right? You use it to control or harm or hurt. That's the problem. It doesn't matter if you're doing it in the name of religion or if you're doing it in the name of magic. That's where the problem begins. So let's just release the belief that evil comes from the modality instead of it coming from the human heart. Evil comes from a decision to go against God's will, to do something out of fear instead out of love, to do something that is better for you than for the other person. There we go. That's moving beautifully. I'm just going to pull some exhaustion energy off of you as well. Just going to unplug everybody that's draining you of energy, using your energy. Ooh. Okay, that cleared up super nicely. We start saying thank you so much. You're welcome, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to do Bruna. Bruna saying, hi, Sky. There's an invitation for me to go to a beautiful place in nature near a couple of friends that I admire, to live and create healing retreats or anything we want. Can you see if it's going to happen, if it's aligned, if I'm going to be able to do it? Oh my God, Bruna, that's so exciting. Jumping card, jumping card. The red goddess, second time that's come up today. So playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads back to light. I am getting like 1,000 yeses roaring around me. There's almost like the angels are saying, don't focus on the people that are blocking this from happening. See those people or any blocks that are preventing this from happening as being surrounded by God's energy, as being surrounded by angels and chariots of fire, that are roaring for this to happen. I need you to see God having surrounded all the blocks and all the enemies and already resolving this on a supernatural level. This is so supposed to happen. You deserve this space. You're an incredible facilitator. You're an incredible healer. You are so ready for this. This is your time. This is your opportunity. You know that you've been promised a healing center and a healing space for over a decade now, right? So I want you to claim it in God's name, declare that it's yours, declare that this is for the good of humanity, declare that you're going to use this space to make God's promises come to life for the people that you serve. That, really start to speak to the mountains instead of speaking to the instead of like talking about the problems. Start declaring and claiming and getting excited, like really letting yourself celebrate the things that God has done for you already. Okay, Susanna saying, hi Sky, I have strange sensations on my head. Okay, I would like to understand what it's about. Thank you, lots of love. So as I'm scanning you, Susanna, I'm actually seeing this is about your clairaudience and your claircognizance awakening. So clairaudience is when you hear your angels and God, and claircognizance is when you just know. And they say that claircognizance is probably the most powerful spiritual gift. It's just that energy of be still and know that I'm God, be still and know that the creator is here. And Carl Jung, when he was asked if he believed in God or if he thought God was real, he said, I know God, because his claircognizance had opened up. So it's this energy of deeply, deeply allowing yourself to know a higher power. It's normal to have like buzzing sounds, tingling. So we're just going to ask the angels to come in and give them permission to clear out your crown chakra. Any fears about listening to your divine guidance, any conflicts between your will and God's will, we're just going to release that now. Okay, that's going good. You're welcome, trying to pull. Hi, Bojo. Just so you know, we're taking questions. You just pop them underneath and we'll pull a card for you. Okay, next person is Judith. Judith is saying, Dear Skylar, my daughter Amelie, 14 years old, is asking you, how can I clear my neurodermatitis and strengthen my immune system and have protection? Thank you for energetic support. So I'm immediately seeing like liver tea. So you need to like things like dandelion, burdock, milk thistle, and it's all about clearing your liver, clearing your liver, clearing your liver to support your hormonal health. It's about being afraid of how powerful you are. You almost feel like you're being asked to be small at school. It's kind of like wait till you graduate. Wait till you graduate to make money. Wait till you graduate to choose who you are. Wait till not just graduate, but like finish university. And you're like, I know who I am. I can do this now. I'm capable now. And it feels like constantly being silenced and constantly being forced to do things that other people don't want you to do. And that's why it's blocking your power. The reason it's showing up on your skin is because you're angry, right? And skin is the largest detox organ that there is, but you don't feel like you're allowed to be angry. It's almost like the people who are supposed to be leading, like the teachers and the adults, they're not recognizing your true potential and they keep asking you to put it off and put it off. So can we release you from all of that? All the patterns in the collective consciousness, all the patterns in your family, all the patterns in your school that are asking you to wait to be grown up before you figure out who you are. This is exactly the time where you're meant to figure out who you are. And you do that by putting yourself out there. You do that by making mistakes. You do that by starting your own little businesses. There's nothing more powerful than a young woman in this world. It doesn't have to be little. Believe in yourself. I'm not sure if there's some sort of design that you want to do, like graphic design or fashion design or artistic stuff, but it's coming through really strong that you're very creative. Believing that you can monetize your gifts, whether you put that aside, for your first property or for studies or for things like that, it doesn't matter. But you need to step into your power here. There we go. That's starting to move. I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael and ask for an instant healing. Okay. Thank you, Judith, for making sure you had her consent. I appreciate that. Okay. David says, I'm still having an awakening. Yes. Yes, you are. And I think a lot of us are going to be having an awakening at least until, I'd say, October. There's a very big shift in consciousness going on. There's so many big things happening. There's so much psychic information and light codes and activations going on and coming through, preparing us for what we're going to have to lead humanity to. So the card that came through for you is the Mystic of Divine Love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. So it's almost an energy of standing strong, standing your ground, and letting the things clear that need to clear. Instead of you trying to do it all yourself, just trusting that the higher power will do it with you and for you. and remember, allowing yourself to really remember who you are. So what happens when you awaken, particularly when you awaken the way you're awakening and you have such strong psychic gifts, is that you tend to be like, am I going crazy? Am I like having like, is my ego taking over? Am I really this important? Do I really matter this much? Or am I kind of like going delusional? And what's delusional is that you're insignificant. What's delusional is that you don't matter. You are God's child. God does not make mistakes. He did not put like impotent, weak people on this planet. He put powerful beings of light on this planet, and you are one of those beings. So there's nothing arrogant about believing good things about yourself, right? That is the divine truth. The arrogance comes when we believe we're better than others. That's very different than believing good things about yourself. Okay, so let's just take a minute to undo that distortion and show you that you're allowed to believe good things about yourself. In fact, it's essential because you can't love somebody more than you love yourself. So if you refuse to believe good things about you, you're going to, at least on an unconscious level, refuse to believe good things about other people. And then that's going to block you. Oh, I can feel that heart center start to open up there. And it's okay to take the time to build a new audience. It's okay if the people that you used to work with or the people that you used to hang around with aren't your clients or aren't your and the people that you're here to help on your mission. You know, even Jesus wasn't recognized in his own village. It's okay to make the space and to start teaching what you're called to teach, to start channeling what you're called to channel throughout this awakening, and call in the people that do resonate with you, that do value you, that do recognize your gifts without having to prove it to anybody. You're not here to prove your spiritual worth. There we go. That's looking super good. Okay. Yep. I'll get to everybody. Don't worry. I'm coming down. Okay, David, I hope that you enjoyed that. Kara Singh, please, can I have a reading? Let's pull one for Kara. Okay. Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. So the angels are telling me, and Kuan Yin is telling me, that you are really hard on yourself, that you don't know how to be compassionate towards your own feelings and emotions. It's almost like you're telling yourself to get over it, or why is this still bothering me so many years afterwards? So let's just take a minute and ask for an instant healing around your capacity to be compassionate towards yourself and towards your inner child, instead of being impatient or frustrated towards yourself. And this comes from a belief often, perpetuated by childhood wounds of don't cry, or you're being difficult if you show emotions. And this belief that like suffering or emotions are unnecessary, stupid, irrational. It's not true. Okay, suffering exists because there's a need for it. Let's take a moment to really, like, because the angels are showing me the story of the trees. So basically, there are these trees that grow in the desert, right? And when they took these trees and grew them in a lab and then put them back in the desert, what they realized was that the trees that grew in the lab grew a lot quicker and a lot taller. But when they were put back in the desert, they weren't A, strong enough to handle that environment, and B, they didn't have deep enough roots, so the wind would come and knock them down. The trees that were allowed to grow in the desert grew a lot more slowly, but because they were subject to these hot winds of testing, i.e. the suffering, and because they were growing sustainably, they didn't grow as tall or as quickly, but they lived for hundreds of years. And no matter what came at them, whether it was drought, whether it was storms, these trees withstood, right? So your capacity to do the right thing, even when you're being wronged by other people, your capacity to hold on to God's truth and God's value, even when other people are lying about you, your capacity to what's it called? Believe that you are worth all the good in the world, like that you're worthy of God's goodness and that you have God's favor, even when people are telling you you're worthless. These are invaluable skills. This is your faith making you whole. And this is also very often where we are able to renounce the very painful habits that become our prison, because a behavior starts as a habit and then it becomes our identity, and then it becomes the mental prison that we're locked into. Okay, so this belief that emotions are useless, this leads to a lack of empathy. This leads to a lack of emotional intelligence. This leads to an inability to be able to tell the difference between someone's words and their actions, between their character versus their charm, right? So emotional maturity and spiritual maturity, they go hand in hand, right? So let's just take a minute to just release all these beliefs that emotions are daft or stupid or unnecessary, that suffering is unnecessary. And let's show you that God does not make mistakes, right? That you don't have to suffer forever, but that everything that happens in our life has purpose and meaning. And there's a difference between pain and suffering. Okay? Suffering is when we choose to hold on to something which no longer serves us and it causes us pain. Pain is God making us aware that something in the human consciousness or in our own mind or in our own heart isn't His truth, and asking us to make it right, to live God's will instead of our own will. There we go. Ooh. That's looking a lot better. Yeah, Cara, I know it's hard, but it's interesting. Thank you for my rose. That's my first rose ever. That's exciting. Okay. Zulu saying, will I be successful in my new job and education? I don't even have to pick up the card to know the answer to that one. The answer, like your angels are like, yes, 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 yes. And there's a really strong believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. I really feel how much you struggle with self-doubt, and it's to do with some kind of a heartbreak. I think it's actually by your father. There's like an energy of having to prove yourself and of people not believing in you, and you having to prove it with grades or prove it with opportunities or with success. So just know that God believed in you before you were born, and that the promises that God placed in your heart were placed there when you were inside your mother's womb. Okay, you don't have to run around proving to anybody that you're a child of God. It's the highest truth. So the card that I got for you is the Queen of Saintly Women. I am in service to divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. So this is actually pretty interesting because I think you're going to be in a position of leadership, and that's why this is a part of why this is making you so nervous. Now, good leaders are not always liked, but they are always loved if they're doing what's for the highest good of the people that they are leading, right? People, it's like being a parent, right? There's a difference between being a mom and being a mother. And because a mother can be a mom can be like your best friend, but a mother is going to do what's right for your soul, what's of highest service for your being, not necessarily what you want in the current moment, right? So there's a difference between a dad and being a father, and it's this this capacity to sacrifice being liked to do what you know in your core is the truth, right? And that teaches your child or teaches the people that are working for you to do the highest good, right? Regardless of whether they're going to get instant recognition. It teaches them long-term spiritual integrity. And that's a very important asset that's coming through for you as a leader. The next one that you're going to develop in this job is the goddess of discernment. So you've got Freya here. She's one of the most ancient healing goddesses in the Nordic world. And it says the God, like, I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. So this is like, you're getting very strongly guided. This goddess is coming in to like set firm boundaries and to accept that the relationship has changed. When you're in a position of leadership, the relationship has changed. You can't be someone's best friend and be someone's leader. You have to be able to discern whether or not they are actually working for the highest good of the group, the highest good of the collective, and be able to have honest conversations and hold them accountable. So this is an energy of, don't be afraid of confrontation. Don't be afraid of using that fierce feminine, so that you can fully be of highest service to the organization that you've been given a position in. Okay, so Okay, Garima's saying, "Hi Skylar, just coming through from YouTube. Needs a reading on my I need a reading on my financial aspect. I want to grow on what guidance the angels would like to give. Thank you." So before I even touch the cards, I'm actually getting guided to change card decks. I'm being shown switch to the. I thought it was going to be angels, but apparently we're doing mermaids. I like mermaids. It's been a while since I've worked with angels and mermaids. Um, so I'm really being shown that you need to, like, a huge part of this is like visibility. I'm not sure if you were bullied or if you were there's like a real energy of hiding here. Yeah, look, first card that popped out is dream big. Let go of small thoughts about yourself and see yourself succeeding. So how you see your dreams, right, is a huge part of whether or not they manifest or not. If you see them as too big for you, as difficult, as never going to happen, as pie in the sky, then that's what they become. So saying it's okay, it's really okay to dream big, bigger than you ever would have imagined. It's actually essential that you dream bigger than you thought possible. Okay. And the next card that came for you is music for manifesting. So this shows me that you are you're taking the manifestation too seriously. You might be one of those people that does manifestation lists, but manifestation is comes from how you feel, not just what you write down. So the lists are like for getting clarity, but then things like dancing, music, celebration, nature, that's what allows the biggest breakthroughs to come. Okay. Okay, so Norhan is saying, "Hi Sky, thanks for the reading. Would love a reading on my finances." Norhan, flipping cards, literally, explore your options. So this is an energy of almost like, I can almost see you shrinking down, like an energy of budgeting, an energy of like spending less, an energy of figuring out what you can give up or sacrifice to make ends meet. And the angels are showing me like you need to open up more. You need to open up more. You need to open up a side hustle, or you need to open up like ways of making a passive income. Don't shrink, expand. Like whenever you face a challenge, you have a choice, right? You have a choice to shrink, and you'll feel it. Your heart will either close or your heart will open, right? So this is an energy of explore your options. There's more available to you than you currently are allowing yourself to receive. Okay, Norhan? For the people that are new and are joining on TikTok or on Insta, you can just drop a question underneath and I will do a live reading for you guys. I'm also on Restream, so I'm working my way down those questions at the same time. Okay, Maria's saying, "Hi Sky, can you please scan my neck? Pain going down my left shoulder and arm, and helping if possible." Yep, I'm going to get Archangel Raphael to come in and just do an instant healing on your neck and on your shoulder and on your arm. And left side is feminine side, okay? And there's a real fear of seeing this from another perspective. There's someone close to you. Actually, okay, so I'm getting a lot of psychic attack. There's someone close to you that's betraying you, and you're scared of seeing this person in a different light. So we're just going to call on Archangel Michael, remove all the psychic attack from whoever this woman is or this friend is. And sometimes this happens, okay? So very often it can be the closest relationships where people can want to hurt us the most. There we go. Oof. And also where we're blind, right? Love can make you blind sometimes. Oh, that's moving beautifully. Oh, I can feel the shivers. And there's you don't see yourself. You cannot see your own greatness. There's an energy of like, why would this person be jealous of me? Why would this person um what do they have to be jealous of? And you need to let that naivety go. There's a difference between innocence and naivety. Okay, naivety is comes from fear, and it's suitable for children, but it's not suitable for adults. Innocence is part of the essence that God puts in us. So you need to understand that you have had promises placed inside you, anointings placed inside you that are going to rub some people up the wrong way. And it's because they're not living their divine life purpose. It's because their demons know that if they stick around you, that they're going to have to go. So they're going to try and damage that relationship or sabotage that relationship. There we go. So there's a real fear of being alone here, which is what this person's clicking into. So, my love, you are already alone. When you're surrounded by people that don't have your best interests at heart, you're already alone and you're doing it. Okay, better to walk alone with God than to walk with people who are going to proactively hold you back or tempt you into things that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so sometimes people are like, I don't want to be alone, but they already are. They're already surrounded by people who are, they are alone with that person. That person are those people, like that group of people. For example, imagine being in a gang, right? You're alone in a crowd. None of those people have your back. All of those people would literally kill you if it meant they would get to a higher position inside that gang. um it's really important that you understand, just because someone is surrounded by people doesn't mean they're not alone. Better to walk alone until you find people who are your true companions than to walk surrounded by people and be alone. There we go, that's moving. You're not always going to be alone, my darling. In fact, God's with you in every moment. Your angels are with you in every moment. Okay, that's moving, shifting, and evolving. Okay, Mitra Singh, I channeled a book of poetry, but I'm struggling with the artwork part and finding a publisher. I'm immediately like, this is not your zone of genius. I think this is a very much where the angels are showing me delegate, delegate, delegate. This is where you want to find someone on Fiverr or Upwork or who can help you with the part that's where you're giving feedback, but you're not doing this yourself. And especially if it's the first book or the second book, it's probably like you'll by all means apply, but you like self-publishing is probably the beginning, the beginning of you taking off, the beginning of you becoming famous. Don't get attached to other people recognizing your success. You are the success, right? Everybody that was recognized, whether it's Oprah Winfrey or Doreen Virtue or Keats, they knew their own greatness before other people recognized it. So start doing poetry readings, start sharing, your beautiful creations, and know that in the sharing of your work, it will be magnified, right? And it will ripple out and serve humanity. Art heals. I can't remember the name of the poem that I was reading, but it was a mum saying that she was giving birth to her child, and the midwife said to sing to the child in case it died because it would call it back to its body, and that she'd never understood how powerful art was. She'd always said art heals, but she didn't understand it in this sense. And it's exactly like that. Like whether it's poetry, whether it's angel healings, whether it's painting, whether art heals. Art literally calls souls back to their body. It calls the dead back to life. It gives you roses for ashes. Never underestimate the power of your art, and never believe that your art doesn't deserve to be recognized. It deeply deserves to be recognized. Your poetry will be recognized, but don't wait until it's recognized to share it. Okay, don't wait until it's recognized to share it. Okay, Gabrielle said, could I have a reading about my relationship with my husband? Will we have a child? Thank you. Okay, those are two different questions. Let me have a look. Oh, jumping card. So the card that I got for you is positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people, situations, and avoid negativity. And blessed change, a major life change gives you major blessings and divine magic. So each one of these cards is very much saying that there's real potential in here for your marriage to work and for your child to work. But they're all saying positive energy, positive energy, positive energy, which tells me that you are letting yourself get away with a lot of negative thinking. So this is like prayers in the morning, manifestations in the afternoon. This is like journaling, like writing out the highest version of the relationship or the highest version of the conception. This is getting away from talking about what's not happening every day and all the ways in which you're trying to make it happen, and moving into, I'm focused only on my desire and I release the rest. Right. And I've done that many times in my life, whether it was when I was switching from theta healing over into full-time medical intuition. I was told I was never going to have a baby, and I have a gorgeous 2-year-old son. Right. So there's told I was going to have Hashimoto's and an underactive thyroid for the rest of my life. And I've been completely healthy for more than a decade. Sometimes you just have to stubbornly focus only on what you desire. That is the principle of manifestation. And you have to let the rest of reality show you what you were manifesting. So what's present in your reality now is just a reflection of the thoughts you were thinking a month ago or a week ago or a year ago. That's it. Okay, that's it. You don't have to make it personal. You don't have to make it proof that your manifestations aren't working. For most people, until they learn to collapse time, their manifestations always happen slightly in the future, slightly in the future. The more you learn how to collapse time, the faster these things happen, right? The quicker these things heal up and they glow. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more from Restream, and then I'm going to catch up with the YouTube readings. Don't worry. Okay, so Mattis is saying, Dear Sky, can you please help me with my anxiety? It's been tough lately. It's true journaling, inner child healing, and breath work. Many thanks. I tried journaling. Okay, so there's a reason why when we use healing modalities that you have to find out the lessons that you learned, and that you have to tell the unconscious mind that those memories are completed. I was actually going into it recently with my medical intuitive class because they were asking me about somatic therapy, and I was saying that we were figuring out how to use it because just like talk therapy, it can just re-traumatize the people that are in it, right? And if you're trauma aware, you understand that just talking about a previous trauma can re-trigger the person. Okay, my love. So when it comes to doing your own work, the first thing is to have realistic expectations. Whenever I'm doing my own inner work, I separate months. Okay, I separate months for me to do my own inner work. It's not days, it's not hours, it's not weeks. I separate months at a time, and then I work at it realistically. Understand that when you start pulling at a thread, you don't necessarily understand everything that's going to come out, and so much of our childhood is forgotten. So much of our history is suppressed, right? So when you start pulling at a thread, you're often thinking, oh, I'm going to get this sorted in 5 minutes. And sometimes that genuinely happened. There's a lot of healing sessions where that's happened for me and where that's happened for people who are doing swaps. But sometimes that's not the case. And you have to give yourself the grace to work through it slowly. The second thing I would say is work through one issue at a time. So what I'm seeing when I'm tuning into you, Mattis, is that you're working on multiple issues at once, right? So anxiety is like an umbrella, just like depression is an umbrella. It's normally caused by a lot of cumulative trauma that caused you to be afraid of your future, not being able to rely on yourself, not being able to rely on your higher power. Okay. So I don't know who you are, darling, but I haven't blocked you. I don't know how to block anybody on Twitter yet. Not Twitter, TikTok. Just so you know, you can be here if you want. You can not be here if you want. No pressure either way. Just chill. You're okay. So, okay, so one thing at a time. So I wouldn't work on an anxiety so much as I would work on one trauma, right? When you're working on umbrella terms, it's very hard to know how long it takes you to heal, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so choose one thing and make it specific, right? And then work through that. Like, be like, okay, work stress is contributing to my anxiety. I feel work stress because of this stuff that happened with my brother or with my dad, or the school trauma. I'm going to work through that. But don't umbrella terms like anxiety or depression. It's very hard. It's very hard to get to the bottom of, because there's never just one core, right? Because anxiety and anger and depression, they're there to cover up other cores. They're there to cover up the root cause, because it's not safe to talk about the real trauma, what actually happened. I hope that helped you, Mattis. Okay. Rennie saying, hi, Sky. I have many illnesses that I've been struggling with for many, many years now. Any guidance from my healing would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's just start by sending you unconditional love. We're going to call on Archangel Raphael. So this is where I'm really being shown that you have some sort of a healing gift. And I would call this like the gifted child wound. So if you have gifts that are like supernatural gifts, they're often not recognized in childhood. And if they are recognized, they're often buried because people are afraid of them. And it's that intuition, it's your clairsentience, your clairaudience, etc., that seems to be never having it be seen, recognized, loved, seems to be it be trapped inside your body. So we're going to call in Archangel Raziel, because there's a lot of this coming through from other lifetimes as well. We're going to let Archangel Raphael help you. Okay, and then there's just like, as that starts to move, I'm seeing a lot of heartbreak and a lot of grief and a lot of sadness. So we're going to call in Azrael. So Archangel Azrael is the angel of, as a beautiful vanilla colored angel that's about resurrection and transformation and grief. There we go. Just going to pull that out of your lungs and heart. That when it comes to illness, because that's my personal path, because I had so many illnesses, what I'd say is that you feel like you're going insane. Like, I remember when I was so sick that I could barely get out of bed, and I would be having these dreams of running down the beach, and I thought that it was some kind of torture, when in reality it was reality, it was a God and angels showing me what was possible for me, which is very hard. It's kind of like when you're in poverty and you're showing yourself making money, and you're like, it's why are people rubbing this in my face, right? It's like rubbing salt on a wound. And the reality is that everything happens in the moment. That's what quantum physics has taught us. Everything happens in the moment, and that the more you're available to it, the more you focus on it, the quicker that it happens. And I remember it did take me 2 years, because I didn't have the level of faith and spiritual practice that I have now. But I remember the first time I was able to run after years of not being able to run, and not just the joy, but the relief. I think I sobbed for ages. Same thing with my son. Like when I found out I was pregnant with my son, that was a proper crying fest. And there's so many times where God has worked miracles in my life, where God has really shown out for me. That there's the grace and the gratitude that's been worked in my life is beyond what I have words to say thank you for, which is one of the reasons I show up and do these readings, and have shown up and done these readings for you guys for free for such a long time, because I believe in giving back. I believe in being of service. Okay. So just if you're new on TikTok, feel free to drop a question. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing the restream questions, okay? Okay, Unicorn Fluffy saying he sits next to me and says yes, we're waiting for an answer. Okay, I'm going right up to the top and doing it again. Okay, so Unicorn Fluffy saying, I would like to know what's on my son's mind that he should feel pressure, which energies can pull him down and fend him off. Maybe you could do an energy cleansing. Okay, so when I'm tuning into your son, I'm seeing a very strong warrior and leadership energy. He knows his own mind. He knows his own heart. He's actually feeling ineffective because he actually wants to start contributing financially. He knows that he can do more than he's being allowed to do. It's almost like they're forcing him to stay in a zone of inaction. It's almost like studying and things like that. He knows that though he's really clever, he's really practical. Like he's really practical. There's like a real energy of like, let me get in there, let me help, let me get my hands dirty. And it's like constantly being told you're a child, when he already knows he's no longer a child. So he's feeling like he can do more, and he's not being allowed to do more. And he's feeling like he's not being recognized. It's like he's being he's only being seen as a child when he's already a man. And that's really hurtful. So there's an asking to be recognized for who he has become, even though it's the beginning. It's like, it's already happened. I'm already there. And he wanting to figure out his masculinity and adulthood in the presence of you guys, instead of, after he's gone. There's also an energy of wanting to provide, like wanting to be around entrepreneurs, wanting to be around other powerful men, and getting very different messages that he's getting from school versus what he's getting online is required to be a powerful male figure. It's almost like he can see all his friends escaping life into video games, into junk food, into like sexuality, into alternative substances. And I can feel he's got a little lion heart going on there. It's like, there must be more than this. There must be more than this. And then at the same time, really caring about them and really wanting them to not be in that much pain, but also like being ahead in some way, almost like he's more emotionally mature, more spiritually mature, and he's the one that's being confided in or being asked for help. So there, like, the card that came up was protection. Your loved ones are protected. He really wants to protect the people in his life. What's making him feel useless is not being able to protect everybody. So let's just take a minute to release the belief that he's supposed to protect everybody, and instead pull in the belief that he's allowed to step into his power. He's allowed to be different. He's allowed to claim being different. He's allowed to be powerful and to achieve things faster than other people his own age without feeling like he's leaving anybody behind. And that he's allowed to speak his truth instead of pretend to be a child or pretend not to know or avoid conflict. Some conflict is good, right? Conflict that's for higher values, conflict that's for creating a real relationship and a loving relationship with your mother, with your father, with your siblings, with your friends, conflict that's fighting for good and truth. Those are all good forms of conflict, right? Conflict's useless when it's about power and domination or about holding other people back or stupid things. But some things in life are worth fighting for. Use that fierceness. Your family's abundance, your family's success, your own values, your own right to be a man and to be seen as a man and to be respected as a man, your right to contribute, your right to provide, your right to be a spiritual and an emotional leader. All these are things that are worth fighting for and are worth standing for. And it's okay to feel pressure. Diamonds are made under pressure. You're not supposed to be like everybody else. Stop trying to be like everybody else. And there's a real fear here of like, I can't make a difference. So let's just release that nihilism so that he can make a difference. Okay. I hope that helped fluffy unicorns, you guys in your online names. Okay. I hope that helped you and your son, darling. Let me keep going. Okay, Joanna saying, how can I attract clients in my professional work? I'm a theta healer and I still want to practice my path as an architect and artist. Is there any blockage for clients and money from this profession? Love. In my experience, it's very okay to have multiple streams of income. The only issue is that you're not organized. That's what I'm seeing as the biggest block. So we're going to call on Archangel Jophiel to help you get organized. In order for different streams of income to come in smoothly, you have to make time and space for them. So the way that I used to do it before, right, was that I would work on my light machine company Monday, Tuesday. I would do my clients Thursday, Wednesday, and I would do my like master classes, etc. on a Sunday, right? And then energetically, it was very clear. This is when I'm available to this group or ministry or audience, and it would just come through. But when it's confused and people are tuning into and they don't know when they could work with you or how they could work with you or what vibration is coming in from what day, then they can feel your panic and your overwhelm, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to work with an overwhelmed person, particularly because healers are very sensitive and we don't want to do anything that would hurt other people normally most of the time. So if healers can feel that you're already overwhelmed, they normally won't book even if they want to work with you. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. I'm going to do a couple more from Restream, and then I'm going to come back to you, TikTokers. Give me 1 second. I want to take care of everybody. I'm just going to scan everybody on Restream to make sure. Sarah Massey saying, hi, Sky. Can I have a reading about this summer? My mom is coming to visit, and it's been a while since we've been together. Any healing that I should do before meeting her? Oh, I think that the biggest healing they're showing me, Archangel Azrael's coming up really strong, that beautiful vanilla colored angel focused on grief. And she's really showing me that it's about grieving the mum that you thought she should be or that you wanted to have, so that you can actually be present with who she is, right? It's a lot of like pulling off the beliefs and the energies and the hopes and dreams that we had for that person, so that we can actually give them a chance to be themselves, and maybe for the first time with our parents have a chance to be ourselves in their eyes too. Okay. Okay, Sahar. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, guys. I'm dyslexic. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years and I'm not sure if he is the right person I'm supposed to marry. I'm very anxious about the relationship and need clarity. Okay, I'm tuning in, but I'm immediately getting like a black energy. Let's see what the cards have to say. Whoop. Okay, so the card that came through for you is let yourself receive and synchronicity. So synchronicity is what happens when the universe is giving you signs. Um, let yourself receive means you're blocking people out. I think you're keeping some of the things this guy has done secret from other people because you're embarrassed of the way you've let him treat you. They're really showing me that you need to have a conversation, not just with like girlfriends of your own age, but girlfriends of, that have more experience than you, kind of like your mom's inner circle or your grandmother's inner circle, women that have already been through motherhood, women that have already been through marriage, that understand what this is going to take. Because if a man is not pulling his weight before you're married, then the chances of the marriage working out are very small, right? Because you don't have crying babies yet, you don't have sleep deprivation yet, you know you don't have financial pressure yet, you're not sharing a home yet. So if a man is not invested financially, emotionally, spiritually in you, and you've been out for 4 years, that is a giant red flag, right? Men fall in love when they invest financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So if they are like looking at what they can get from the relationship, looking at how they're going to receive, looking at how you're doing the 50-50 thing, then that tells me that they're very much in their feminine, right? Which forces you into your masculine, which might work until you have kids or you're pregnant, and then it's really not going to work. Right? It's polarity is something you can mess around with until nature kicks in. Because when you are giving 150% and the other person is giving like 25%, that marriage ain't gonna stand. Right? This is what we talk about, the hot winds of testing. The hot winds of testing in a marriage is like sleeplessness, financial pressure, raising children, priorities of what you want for your family. Like when you're trying to save up for your child's school and they're wasting money on, things that don't matter, you're going to end up in arguments about that because their selfishness is costing your child their education. There are really big things that you face when you're raising a family together that aren't relevant when you're engaged and aren't relevant when you're dating, but that are relevant when you're raising children. What I want you to think is like this: the only thing that the Bible says about choosing a soulmate is that there's somebody that you should be able to go to war with. Somebody that you should be able to go to war with. This is the person that you are going to put your parents in the ground and they're going to be standing next to you. This is the person that you are going to go through illnesses with. This is the person that you are going to go through, bankruptcies or business failures, as well as your greatest successes. So this is a person that you have to be really, really sure is going to have your back. This is the person that when you've been up all night with a baby that's sick in a hospital, or that when you're not sure if everything's okay during childbirth, is going to make your decisions for you. Okay, so this is super, super, super important. This is not just about whether or not you fancy or attracted to the person. Don't marry a person based on lust. Marry a person based on God's values, God's laws, God's integrity, right? I want you to really ask yourself that. I want you to level up your game dating the person, right? I want you to really be in there asking yourself, is this the person I want by my side when I put my mother in the ground, when I put my father in the ground? Is this the person I want by my side if, heaven forbid, I miscarry a child? Is this the person that I want by my side when I haven't slept for a week because my baby is sick? Is this the person that's going to look me in the eye and tell me I am beautiful when I feel broken? And if the answer to those questions is no, get away from them. Right? Get away from them. The women in our generation have been taught to date out of lust, and it is such a disservice. It's such a disservice to us as women and as light beings, and to the children that are coming into this world right now. You have to date from a place of love, but also asking yourself some really hard questions. Okay, there's a lot of people in this generation that are going to die, go up and speak to God, right? I kid you not. And God is going to ask them, why didn't you do your divine life purpose? And they're going to be like, because my boyfriend was creating so much drama. Okay. This is codependency. Dating abusive partners is as deadly as being addicted to cocaine, alcohol, or drugs. If you have an addiction to abusive men, drop it like a hot potato, right? Drop it like it's hot. It is that deadly. It is that dangerous, not just for you, but for your children. Do not date or engage with predators. That means if you fancy the bad boys, right? That's what I'm telling you. Drop it like a hot potato and start really focusing on what God is telling you to do. People going, yes, 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 uh-huh, uh-huh. If you need to put angels in charge of your love life, then please do. Okay. If you're new, guys, and you just joined, please feel free to drop a question. And I will okay. AH is saying, will my wife come back to me? Oh, I've got two cards that jump for you. Okay, so the first card is pay attention. This is a very strong card that tells me that the ball's in your court. It's almost like you're giving your power away. There's a fear of the level of responsibility, a fear of the man that you're going to become, a fear of there being no joy in you stepping up, and it's the opposite. There's going to be a grieving period because you're going to realize how much you've lost and how much you've missed out on. But if you if you step up, if you are relentless in becoming the man you want to be, the father you want to be, the provider that you want to be, I would say give yourself 6 months of it not being about anything else, not being about the family, not being about your wife, not being about your kids, it being about who you want to become and who you think you should be. And then I think as a byproduct, because you're going to spend time meditating on what you desire, there's a real chance, I'm just going to do another one just to make sure, there's a real chance that your partner can come, but this is not about her. You don't trust yourself. You don't know yourself. And then that's what's coming out in the relationship, because the relationship demands so much of you that it's throwing you into overwhelm. When you don't know who you are, how can you do that in a difficult, like, relationships are difficult, both for men and for women. Right? If you're a man, you work all day, you work your ass off, and then you come home and you're expected to give even more. It's like 24 hours a day giving. And if you're a woman, you work your ass off all day and then the work day never finishes, period. Both are expected to give and to give and to give. It's Anthony Robbins that taught me that. Relationships are places where you go to give. And if you don't know who you are, you start resenting the other person because you think it's about them, and it's not. Giving is the way that God's grace stretches us. Giving is the way that we learn to be in God's power, even when we're stressed, even when we're tired, where we learn to start executing instead of making excuses, when we learn how to be good people in our bones instead of just in our minds, where we learn to do the right thing, even when we're tired, even when we're exhausted, even when we think we cannot do more, we just do more, right? So it's very, very different than what we think it's going to be. But if you focus on you, if you decide to become the man that you know that you are, right? And it's not about getting someone back. It stops being it, because all of that is still manipulation from the ego perspective, right? How can I control them? How can I get them back? How can I get them to do what I want them to do? That's not how God thinks. That's not how God works, right? God thinks, how can I love this person? How can I serve this person? How can I bless this person? And that's the shift in consciousness that needs to happen in you if you want the family to work, because families only work, teams only work, businesses only work when you are there to serve, not there to take. Okay. And that is a shift of the mind, not of the head. Okay. I hope that helps. Okay. So I'm going to do a few more from Restream and then I'll switch over again. Hi, Farida, saying watching from the UK, liked and subscribed. Thank you, darling. Yep. If you are enjoying the readings, I'm always live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I will find you. You feel free to drop me questions as well, and I'll answer as many of them as I can. You're welcome, AH. Okay, whoop, someone coming through. Okay, Alexandra saying, hi, Sky. I've been single for a while, and I would like to ask if there is a blockage that prevents a compatible long-term partner coming into my life. Thank you. It's a provider wound, Alexandra. They're showing me something with your father where there was an energy of waiting and waiting and waiting and him never showing up, and then you making a decision that you didn't want anything from him anyway, that you wouldn't receive anything from him anyway. So this energy, this promise, this vow that a lot of women make nowadays and a lot of men make, that they will never receive, they will never let somebody have that much power over them again. They will never let somebody have that much influence over them ever again. This blocks God from having that much power. This blocks God from having that much influence. And it also stops us from receiving, right? Your father and your mother are human beings, right? They are just as weak and scared and vulnerable as you. Particularly if you think that they were going through all this before the internet, before YouTube, before Facebook, before a lot of them even had books and community available on the level that we have it available. Okay. Whereas we can just go online and Google best way to deal with like a child tantrum or best way to deal with a difficult marriage or best therapists in the world. They couldn't do that. And they were very much limited in their earning capacity by their local area and their education. So a little bit of grace goes a long way here, right? But when we make that promise to never let anybody provide for us, never let anybody have that much power over us, never let anybody have that much influence, it's not our parents that we block, it's God, right? So it's this energy of letting it go, letting that promise go, talking to that wounded little girl and saying to her, it's really wrong, right? What happened is not okay, but you deserve everything. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be taken care of. And whoever you love will, bless you beyond your wildest imagination, but they will also be human, and there will be days where they make mistakes, and there will be days where they disappoint you. And that doesn't just go for a partner, that also goes for children and for friends. So if you stonewall every time somebody makes a mistake, that's not a boundary, right? That's a wall, and that's going to keep you alone. So let's just release those vows and oaths to never let anybody provide, to never trust anybody on that level, to stop you from getting hurt. Because the truth is, hurt is a part of life. Pain is a part of life. Suffering is unnecessary, but pain, there we go. That's shifting nicely, Alexandra. Marcella saying, hi, Sky, how are you? Can I have a card, please? Yep. Okay, we got you. Watch your thoughts. Okay, so this is energy of it's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear. This is how we started the readings almost an hour and 15 minutes ago, with this energy of take your power back from the situation, come back to your thoughts, come back to your energy, and realize that whatever is manifesting now is a reflection of what you were thinking, or the self-pity or the anger that you were in a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so it's just about detaching, really using the virtue of detachment and focusing only on what you desire. Okay, Farda saying, can I have a card regarding my love life with Allison, a male? Yep. These names, isn't it? Because I had some very interesting, I honestly can't tell, except for the energy scan, what's what based on names anymore. Okay. Oh, there we go. Jumping card. Okay, so the card that I got for you is let yourself receive. So there's this energy of wanting to, it's almost like I feel like a people pleasing energy. I feel like you're like one of those people that's stuck into how can I take care of him, what can I do, how can I please, instead of being able to receive. So that makes it very difficult for you to praise, validate, recognize. And men love to be praised, validated, recognized. They get so much joy out of women's happiness. And it's this, you're afraid almost of being happy. You're afraid of letting yourself feel like you've made it, like you've arrived, like you're loved, because there's like this energy of like, is somebody going to take that away? Is somebody going to yank it away just when I get used to having it? So let's just do a healing around your receiving wound. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to do one more, maybe two more, guys, but then I've got to go because I've got clients in the afternoon. Okay, Christina saying, hi, Sky. Every time I want to start working on my business, creating a program or online course, I go into freeze mode and I need to do EFT or something to get me moving. What needs healing here? So level 1 is like there's a fear of rejection. And level 2 is that so EFT, somatic therapy, acupuncture, things like that, what they will do is they will clear the body, right? They will clear the body of the stress that's already in it. But deep in your unconscious mind and your soul, these traumas, these memories are being recycled, they're being repeated. To your unconscious mind, it will literally replay a memory in a hologram over and over and over again every time there's a danger that it might happen again until that memory is completed. Okay. So this is why you need to do something deeper. You need to actually go and have a conversation with the part of you that's wounded, which is what we do in medical intuitive technique. That's why I train people to do this, because otherwise, and I did it, I kid you not, I did it for years and it will help, right? It all helps a lot. Every little helps. But there's only so much time that you can spend doing therapy every day. It's kind of like, if there's a leak in the pipe, you have to fix the pipe. You can't just, keep ignoring the fact that there's a leak. You actually have to fix the pipe, right? So it's the same thing. There comes a point where you can't just keep putting band-aids on deep spiritual wounds. You have to actually go and repair at the core of what happened, right? And with with tapping and with things like that, what they do is they get rid of the emotion until you're in the situation again, and then the memory gets triggered and more of the same emotion gets created. You really don't want to be tapping. If you're using EFT, you want to be using something like echo tapping at least, right? You don't want to be tapping on the anxiety. You want to be tapping on, what actually caused the anxiety. I kid you not, guys, okay? I've been a healer and a therapist for almost 20 years now. Anxiety, depression, anger are what's called an umbrella emotion. They cover up the memories and the traumas that are too vulnerable for you to talk about with friends, family, sometimes even yourself. So if you want to resolve them, you have to go deeper than I want to fix my anxiety, or I want to fix my anger, or I want to fix my depression. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to be willing to give back to God the things that are really hurting you. Okay. Okay. One more quickly. Duval said, can they just give me a reading and a healing for my romantic relationship, which was decided to be put on a pin at the moment? Thank you. I think that the pin needs to stay in there. That's what the angels are showing me. It's like, let him work for it. Really let him work for it. Don't be afraid of letting him work for it. If a man really wants to make amends for what he's done, there will be flowers, there will be gifts, there'll be legwork that goes into it. Words are not enough. Okay. If you're going to let him pull the pin out, let him pull the pin out. Okay. But his behavior made you put the pin in. So a text message, things like that is not enough. You have to make him really work for it. You have to make him really make amends. Okay. I'm going to do a closing prayer. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for today's angel readings. I enjoyed them a lot. And please know that I kind of go where the angels tell me to go, and that if somebody else's reading or healing resonated with you, you can just say yes to receive it as well. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you like, share, and subscribe, we run a competition, and I will give a free angel reading session away to the people who like, share, and subscribe. Just like and share, and then drop me an emoji, and then you can have a private voice reading from me if you do that. Okay? Lots of love. Oh, great spirit, Father, Sky, Mother, Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you to become. Dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, amen, namaste. Mm-hmm.